So, how to get new buyer and seller clients as a real estate agent on Instagram organically without spending a dime on your ads? Well, the answer lies within a 3-pillar framework we're going to go over in today's video. These pillars are attracting, hunting, and social selling. And when you use all three, you're going to have a perfect storm that gets you new clients. Now, most real estate agents are at least somewhat familiar with Instagram, and they're usually posting things like market statistics, just sold, just listed, open house promotions, usually things like this, or maybe even things like they get from the brokerage, or if they make with Canva or tools like this. Yet most agents don't get any new clients from Instagram. So it's a platform that is widely misused and under leveraged for real estate agents with huge opportunity on the upside as far as like how many clients they can get. And the reason why I think that is the case is because there's just so much plain wrong misinformation out there about how to market as real estate agents. So really agents end up doing random things that are not proven to work, things that have no basis on actual human psychology or what people actually respond to and what people are actually interested in. But if you know how to use Instagram the right way, it can easily add you an extra 10, 20, even up to 30 deals a year to your bottom line. So generate hundreds of thousands of dollars without spending a cent on advertising or lead generation. So let's dive right in, and the first of these 3 pillars is going to be attracting. So we're talking about what we can do on Instagram to get people to come to us and get new buyer and seller clients organically without running ads. And there's 3 steps to this. The first step is to optimize your Instagram profile to be better than any of your competitors. Because if you look like every other real estate agent on Instagram, it's just not gonna cut it in today's day and age. Now, I work with hundreds of real estate agents personally, one-on-one, over the last half a decade. And so I know that unfortunately 99% of agents' profiles, they just look like exactly the same. So you gotta stand out, you gotta be different from the crowd. And so we need to do first, before we do anything else, is to create the best profile we can that resonates with the people we want to attract. The first thing is your username, and the username should be just your first name and your last name. Now, if that's already taken, if you have a very common name, so it's already taken, just add your city name at the end. So for example, it can be something like John Smith, Austin. So we don't want to put out sales resistance and make your profile look like a marketing avenue or something like this. So remember, great marketing, it does not look like marketing. It's not obvious that, hey, this guy is just trying to get clients. Then a high quality headshot picture has to be there. Meaning, if right now you've had a blurry headshot picture from 10 years ago, or you've had a headshot taken in a studio or something like that, that's not gonna work. A high quality headshot picture of you, it's gotta be taken outdoors or with a good background with a proper DSLR camera. It's gonna make a ton of difference. And remember, this is the picture that people see when they look at your content, it comes up, that's what they see. Or when you put out a story, they see that headshot, they see that picture. So it's extremely important that you dial this in. Then after this, we have the bio section. The bio is the first thing people read when they go to your profile on Instagram. And most agents, unfortunately, they say something like realtor in their bio. And again, there's nothing wrong about their anything like that. It's fine. But if you want to take things further, you want to become that real estate agent that attracts a lot of clients, your bio should explain what your service is, who is it for, and what's the core benefit of using your service. So for example, it can be something like Austin Realtor, helping professionals upsize to their forever home. And then also add a reason for people to follow you. So for example, it can be something like sharing unique Austin lifestyle tips or sharing coolest homes in Austin. Don't try to be fancy, come up with some creative, unique slogan that people don't understand. It just doesn't work. Get straight to the point, explain the benefit, get people hooked in. And then in your profile itself, you should obviously add all the other basics like contact information to the contact info fields and link to your website where people can find details about your service and your success stories. So once your profile is set, the next step from here is to start posting content. That's gonna be the second step. Now, this is where many realtors go wrong, and unfortunately, a lot of agents seem to have a lot of misconceptions and misinformation really about posting content on Instagram. So let's unpack this a little bit. The first thing we need to understand that there's different categories of content and what each of these categories are actually supposed to do. So there's really 4 different categories of content we can use to communicate on Instagram. We have Reels, regular feed posts, whether this can be an image or a video. We have stories, and then also direct messages. Now, the first category, Reels, is your primary form of content to grow your following and get in front of new people that have not seen you before. They're not following you yet. The second category, Feed posts, is there to build relationships with your existing audience. Brand yourself, provide real value to those people, whether that's just positive emotions, new epiphanies, new insights, practical actionable information, and so on and so forth. Then the third category, Instagram Stories, is there to build intimacy with your audience, get them to relate to you, get them to know you, like you, and trust you. Really build your personal now brand and connect a relationship on the next level, and ultimately drive people into your direct messages. And this is where our last category, Instagram direct messages, comes in. It's there to deepen those one-on-one relationships, have conversations, and ultimately set appointments with qualified people. So if you imagine kind of like a pipe where on the other side there's all the people in your local market who currently don't know you, right? There's thousands of local people on Instagram right now searching for content, looking at content, and they don't know who you are. And on the other side, you have new client, a listing appointment, a listing, and you close on the deal. Instagram Reels is the first introduction to take them from a stranger into getting them into your world. And ultimately, your feed posts are there to establish the relationships, and then Instagram Stories is where people get into your DMs, you set appointments, you guys have a conversation, and so there's this end-to-end flow between, okay, we go from here, somebody doesn't know us at all the way back here we generate a client, we go on a listing appointment and actually meet them. And so this is the dynamic you need to be aware of, and this is the dynamic you want to play into, because people often fail to realize this. They think that they're just going to post content, just say like, hey, you need a real estate agent, and just reach out to me, right? If they don't understand this process, you're not going to be able to generate clients from Instagram. And if you don't take these elements into account, you ultimately obviously just waste your time or money as well. So if right now you're using automated tools that post generic templated stuff for you, or you're sharing memes or quotes or random videos on your profile, or you have hired some virtual assistant or something like that, that's gotta go. That has no place on Instagram at all. It doesn't work, it doesn't generate your revenue, and it makes you just look like a spammer, makes you look like somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So how do you go about creating content that actually works, gets you real new real estate clients, actually close deals? Well, first we need to look at where you stand right now and set a baseline for content creation. So do you already have an existing audience? So do you currently already have, let's say, 500, maybe 1,000 followers from your existing sphere, like people that know you that you can tap into for getting clients? Or do you need to focus on audience building right from the start? Creating Reels, feed posts, stories, and having DM conversations can be intense from a time investment standpoint. So you want to first evaluate what makes the most sense for you as far as the platform, as far as, okay, what content you like to create, and also where do you already have a leverage, where you already have an asset you can leverage from. And what's really going to be the threshold you can commit to on a consistent basis time-wise. So for someone, it may make sense to hire an editor to help with content creation process, help with the reels, and just bang out one reel per day. Now for some, it may make not sense at all to do Instagram Reels at all and just focus on feed posts and stories. Now for some, it may make sense to do 3 reels a week, 2 feed posts a week, and then post stories 4 to 5 days per week. Now, if you're new to Instagram, you're just getting started, don't set the bar too high, because you can easily get overwhelmed and do it for 1 week and then just fall off and never do it again. It's better to be consistent, getting better over time, and really post less than to set the bar too high in terms of activity and then not reach it at all, because the content you put out is the most important part on Instagram. So really the main principle with any content you put out on Instagram is that it should be value driven instead of sales driven. Now, instead of thinking how you can really sell your service, how you can get really new clients, you got to be thinking, okay, how can I create new conversations? How can I provide insightful perspectives? How can I make other people's lives better as a result of them coming to my profile, consuming my content, and how can I connect with them on a daily basis in my local market? So as you know, real estate is a relationships-based business. The more people know you, the better they know you, the more referrals, the more business you're just gonna get. But when it comes down to social media, a lot of times people forget that and then just try to sell their service. Okay, so let's talk about what exactly works on Reels, feed posts, and stories. So, okay, what exactly do you need to post? So let's unpack the first category of content, and that's going to be Instagram Reels for real estate agents first. What do you record with? You want to record with your phone as long as it's decently new. If you have an older phone, just upgrade that to get the best quality. Okay, so what do you record? Well, it's going to be 3 types of content you want to be recording: local property tour content, local lifestyle content, and general real estate content. Very simple. Again, the goal with Reels is to get in front of new local people in your market and to build an audience. Now, unfortunately, these 5 tips for curb appeal type of posts are just not too appealing in the current marketplace to the general public, and you just have a hard time building an audience if you're still doing the posts that worked 10, 20, 30 years ago. So don't do that. Focus on building your audience. So when we create content, we need to create content that the local people currently actually want to watch. Almost everybody wants to see local homes. Almost everybody wants to learn and hear new things about their local area, where they live. Almost everybody wants to see interesting things, interesting facts, interesting places, interesting events, interesting tips to make their lives better in that local area. And that's what 80 to 90% of the Reels should be, and 10 to 20% should be about generating real estate tips. So for example, let's say you're recording a property tour video. You might start off by saying, do you think this home in Austin is worth $750K, as a hook to get people curious, and then create a tour of that home in 45 seconds. Or you can say something like, what can $750K get you in Austin, as a hook, and then again that tour of the home in 45 seconds. And for local lifestyle content, you record it as talking head videos at your home, or you can go outdoors and interview people, or you can go to places to talk about that you talk about in the actual video. So for example, here's 10 examples for topics and then the exact words to say on your Instagram Reels videos, and then you can unpack that topic in 30 seconds after this hook. So number 1, the number 1 way to spend a day in Austin. Number 2, neighborhood X versus neighborhood Y. Number 3, this is the best steak I've had in Austin. Do you know why Austin is the best city in US? This is what I hate about Austin. It's crazy what happened in Austin 50 years ago. This is the weirdest place I've been to Austin. Best healthy things to do in Austin. Here's secret to making your life insanely fun in Austin. And then Austin secret you need to know. And then when you're creating your general real estate content, here's some examples and word for word hooks you can use for that. Remember this before you move to Austin: 3 steps to get $30,000 more for your Austin home when you sell it. Every single American can live in their dream home if you listen to what I'm about to tell you. The average Austin home seller loses 46% of their net worth when they sell their home. Here's how John was able to upsize to a bigger home without paying more, even with the current mortgage rates. Here's what realtors don't want you to know. Want to make your home look expensive? Then listen up. If you're planning on moving, you need to hear this first. 2 questions realtors get asked all the time. I wish I knew this before I was a realtor. Best homes to buy are not on Zillow. Now, if you'd like to save these for later, just comment cheat sheet down below and our team will send these notes for you for free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, so as far as recording and editing goes, there's a lot of moving parts and nuances, and I need like 4 hours to unpack it. So here's 3 quick video tips every realtor ought to know. Number 1, don't script out your videos using ChatGPT. Some people will tell you to use ChatGPT to write out your content for videos, but the truth is there's never going to be ChatGPT that's gonna do that for you at a level it needs to be at. Is it simple? Yes. Does it work? No. So I want to be very transparent with you and tell you what actually works. And using ChatGPT makes you sound like a robot. It makes you sound weird. You got to have your own personality in your reels, your own thoughts based on your own life experience. Everybody nowadays can know this. If it's ChatGPT, you're not going to be the special realtor that uses ChatGPT to make your videos sound authentic. So let's not try that at all. Now, number 2, always script out your hook, meaning you should always know exactly what you're going to be saying when you start out the video. So the first sentence is the most important part of the video that makes or breaks the video. And then the rest you can either script in advance word for word, or you can read off a teleprompter app, like let's say you use BigUV.tv, or you can wing it and cut it up in the editing when you do record the actual video. Now, number 3, keep editing simple when you start out. So don't try to be the next Mr. Beast and try to edit your videos extremely strongly. Just pick one simple editing tool to cut up the video, such as CapCut on your phone, and then add the captions to your video using native caption tools on the video that you're posting to your Instagram Reels. Now, As you're creating and posting these reels to Instagram, you can go ahead and also post the same content on Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok to get even more eyeballs, get even more exposure, and essentially quadruple your reach. Now, the next category of content is feed posts. These are the regular traditional Instagram posts, and there's countless of different formats of what you could actually do here. So what I want to do in this video is to give you a simple, easy to execute framework for this that is proven to work. So for feed posts, you want to stick to posting 3 types of content: real estate insights, personal lifestyle, and client success stories. So for all these content types, you want to use pictures of yourself and then pictures of you with your clients. So the pictures of you could be a candid pictures of you walking at a property, doing something at a property, sitting on a couch, sitting with your dog, sitting with your family, sitting at an event, ultimately anything where it's a casual kind of a situation where you're just going about day to day, doing your work, anything like that. Obviously things like if you are at a great apartment, let's say you're showing a luxury apartment, you wear casual clothes, you wear great clothes, talking to people, really depending on what kind of perception you want to create as a real estate agent, which of course is predicated on who do you want to resonate with, who do you want to attract. If you're trying to get a luxury client, you want to associate yourself to luxury environments. But if your client is a regular homeowner, then you want to be more casual, you want to be too fancy. If you're just trying to attract, let's say, regular father, regular mother, just regular people, then you want to be more regular yourself as well. And to get these pictures, you want to keep it very simple. So during your day-to-day life, just hand your phone over to people and ask them to take a few pictures of you really quick. And sometimes you can do an hour, just a quick photo shoot, just to get a lot of pictures saved up for later use. Then the pictures of you with your clients, is generally best to take these right after the closing, when you guys are obviously meeting up with the client, standing in front of their new home or the home you guys sold, and all together looking at the camera, smiling, obviously being happy about the transaction. So after this, we pair up these images with different types of captions. So let's break it down into 3 different content types to see how all of this comes together into your actual posting strategy. So the first content type is going to be your real estate insights. In these posts, you write a medium length text and use a picture of yourself. So, you're staying top of mind with your real estate industry, local market, you know a lot about from National Association of Realtor updates, in my news, you're looking at the market, see what's going on, working with clients, working with the different trends that are going on in the MLS, you look at Zillow, etc. So you, as a real estate agent, you have a real strong finger on the pulse of the market. Okay, what's going on right now? What are the people thinking? What are the people responding to? Okay, so the local market changes. There's a new shift that happens in the economy. The future housing market now looks different. And now as a real estate agent, you want to provide your personal thoughts, perspectives, opinions really on that, and then relate it back to these homeowners. Okay, what is going on? What does this mean for you? And okay, this is what's going on for you, for the people that you want to attract specifically. A big mistake I see most realtors do is that they just share the stats. Okay, here's the stats, just look at the stats, but they don't do any job as far as like explaining the stats. Okay, what's going on? How does this relate to me? So for the average homeowner looking at that, it doesn't tell anything. It's just same as if I were to say, okay, CPC is going up by 15% in December. This is what's going on. Like, you're not gonna understand anything when I say that sentence to you, unless you are very, very sophisticated with your marketing. So which most people are not. So people, the homeowners, they don't comprehend, okay, this is the inventory, this is the interest rate. Like, they don't know what's going on, how it relates to everything else, what it really means for them and their decision making for buying or selling that property in real estate. So if you're kind of like the middleman that makes that information easy to digest, it makes it kind of relevant, it makes it even entertaining, you're going to be able to provide a lot of value, position yourself as the authority expert for these people. Now, in addition to this, any concerns there is right now in the marketplace, let's say that's interest rate, let's say that finding a home, whatever the questions, whatever the concerns are, you want to always be addressing those, because when there is a concern, it's an objection to actually working with you. So empathize with those concerns, alleviate these concerns, and obviously answer the most common questions, concerns that are going on in your actual content. So in essence, what you're doing with your text is you're saying, okay, here's what's going on in the market and here's what it means to you. Now, the second type of content is going to be personal lifestyle. These are the posts where you showcase who you are through the lifestyle that you live, whether that's your work, whether that's your personal lifestyle. And in these posts, you pair up an image with yourself and then write a short description, okay, what's going on in the picture. This is what establishes you in the people's minds as, okay, who you are actually as a human being. Okay, what's going on? Who is this person? What do they value? What kind of person are they, right? That's what personal lifestyle things do, so people can relate to you on a human-to-human level. Now, the third type of content is client success stories. In these posts, you write a medium-length text and then use a picture of you with your clients. So after a successful transaction, get a picture of you and the client, then write up an actual story of where you guys walked through the transaction. Okay, what was the client's situation before you guys met? How did they find out about you? Okay, you guys did the listing appointment. What are your concerns? What's going on with that? All right, you guys started selling the house. What is the process? What were some of the questions, some of the doubts? What process did you guys take through as you guys started to sell the house? And then explain, okay, what you guys did together, why you did those things, and ultimately, what was the end outcome, right? How did the client do? How did the client's life really change as a result of working with you? And how they felt about themselves at the end. So a lot of the times what I see is that with client success stories, people are just not tapping into psychological social proof biases and really tapping into that relatability factor to allow people to envision, okay, this is what it's like to work with this real estate agent. So remember, don't just post a picture, okay, just sold, just listed, right? Tell a story so people can actually see the humans behind the transactions and then see the actual process for themselves really through that story. So you have to stop what's just sold, just listed, that kind of stuff does not belong on Instagram, and just goes to show how most agents are still kind of stuck in the past, 1990s marketing style, like 30 years later. So if you do that, right, you post just sold, just listed, these types of things, and ignore this advice, you'll basically just miss out on tons of leverage. Because like obviously these types of posts, when you make them, they're a lot more powerful than just a picture of a house and just sold. So you want to stop doing those and then basically replace them with these client success stories that people can actually relate to on that human-to-human, heart-to-heart level. So these are the 3 content types you post on Instagram feed, and then these content types will generate massive responses and influence on the people that want to work with you. So then the next category of content is going to be your Instagram stories. So the goal with Instagram stories for real estate agents is to build intimacy with people and get people into your direct messages. So how do you do that? Well, there's 2 steps to this. The first step is to post behind the scenes pictures, short videos from your personal life and work life. Every once in a while, just take a picture of what you're doing. It can be very casual, maybe you're working, maybe you're at a restaurant, maybe you're with a client, whatever the case may be, just take a picture of that in the moment shot and then add a text overlay on top of it and then post it on your stories. And then every once in a while, record a quick video of what you're doing. Let's say you're at a property, let's say you're working with clients. And then again, depending on who you want your brand to appeal to, you could show other stuff too. So let's say you play golf, you love golf. And so let's say you want to appeal to people that play golf and you play golf yourself. So then when you're playing golf the next time, just take a quick clip about that and then you can post it on your stories. Also, if you want to do a longer story, you can post a quick take on the local golf courses in your stories or anything related to the golf playing. Or let's say you want to be known as a family person. Well, then obviously post clips about you hanging out with your family, you guys doing great things together, sharing funny moments, funny stories, talking about the importance of family relationships and what they really mean to you on that deeper level. So there's a lot of different routes and all of them really depend on who you are as a person and who do you want to appeal to. So this is different for every single realtor in every different market. So there's different types of people and there's different people in different markets. So that's how you really build intimacy. So people who post just sold, just listed, automated stuff, delegated to VA, they're not going to be able to do any of this stuff. But if you do it yourself, you are in the content yourself and you actually follow proven mechanisms, proven strategies for doing this, you start to build what we call a parasocial relationship with these people. So they really start to relate to you on a personal level and kind of start to get to know you as a human being with your marketing. And it's really, really powerful. Just imagine your sphere of influence growing by 10 times, 100 times. You can just guess the results by yourself if you had a sphere of influence that's 10 times larger than right now. Now that we're posting these stories, the second step with these Instagram stories is to generate leads. And what I mean by this is to get people into your DMs. The easiest way to do this is with number one, polls, and number two, valuable call to actions. So for example, you could create a story where you add a picture of a home in the background, and then you add a text element where you type something like, who wants a list of all the available new construction homes in area? And then you just add a poll element with no title with options. So you want to type in me, not me, I don't want to buy a house. And then from here, people will tap into those options. So people start to reply to your poll, and then you can proactively go to their profile and then send them a DM saying, hey, what's up, John? I saw you voted in my stories that you'd like to get a list of all the new construction homes in the area. So I want to ask you if you already have an idea of the price range so I can send over the most relevant ones. And now you guys are talking about real estate, and you guys can go from here. Or an example of a valuable call to action is you could create a story sequence where you first post one story where you have add a home that you sold recently as the background of that story, and then from here you add a text element on top of it saying something like, recently we helped a couple in Jersey City sell their home for $32,000 over the asking price, so they could finally move closer to the family in Virginia. And then from here you just create another story, and that next story you can add yourself, let's say black background, so nothing, and just add a text on top of it. So say something like, this week I'm spending time creating home value updates, getting people clear on what they could actually get their home sold for if they sold their houses. So if you want to know how much your home could actually sell for, just DM me value and I'll send you the complimentary custom report. And so from here, people comment to your DMs asking for a CMA. You guys are in the talks about their new home value. Now, if you'd like to get our collection of the best polls and valuable call to actions for your Instagram stories based on half a decade of testing different things out, trying different things out, all you need to do is just a comment cheat sheet down below. Our team is going to send that over you for free. It doesn't cost anything, including notes on the content we talked about previously. Also, here's a quick tip for stories. So set your stories up automatically to also post to your Facebook stories too. So this way, they're also going to go to your Facebook profile. So all we need to do this, go to your profile, settings, account center, and then set up from there. So that wraps up the pillar one of the 3 pillars for this strategy. The second pillar to this Instagram framework for real estate agents is what I call hunting. Now, the reason why I call this hunting is because we're hunting for opportunities to build and deepen our relationships. So in addition to posting content on Instagram, we take proactive measures on this platform to build our audience and deepen the relationships we have with people that already follow you. Again, Instagram is a social platform, so we want to be social here to build relationships on an ongoing basis. So here's what to do. So set your Instagram feed to show posts from people that you follow only, and then comment on the new posts you'll see. This will help you build a connection with that person and keep you on the radar with them. So what do you comment when you see these posts? Well, if it's a lifestyle post, comment something simple such as a compliment or video remark, or ask a question about the thing that they're doing in their picture. So for example, nice, is that the mountain here near this area? Now, if their post is very long, so it has a lot of a story, or let's say it's a topic and it's like long, more detailed posts with a lot of information, then you can use the ACA formula to leave a comment on the post. So what do I mean by ACA formula? Well, there's 3 steps to the commenting framework you want to leverage. So first of all is the acknowledgement, then compliment, and then ask. Let's say you saw a fishing post, somebody's fishing on a nearby lake. You could say something like, hey, I love the fact that you are fishing at the nearby lake. A nice catch with the salmon that you got. Is there a lot of salmons this time of the year? Or any related fish, obviously, to the related area that you live in. And what this is going to do is that the person who posted the post is now going to reply back to your comment, and that's actually going to push your comment towards the top of the post. And now that it's on the top of their post, every follower that sees that post will also usually see your comment. And so this way, again, you're going to push that traffic towards your profile. So that wraps up the hunting pillar, and the first of these 2 pillars, attracting and hunting alone, can generate you a lot of clients as is. But when combined with the last pillar, your results will skyrocket. So the last pillar of this organic Instagram framework for real estate agents is what I call social selling. So far, we've discussed a plethora of tactics, and you might be wondering, well, how do we get even more conversations and get even more leads? The answer lies in social selling. And this means that anytime someone comments on your posts, anytime somebody replies back to the comments you've left anywhere, anytime somebody becomes a new follower on your Instagram, you want to start off a conversation using social selling in the private messages. Now, I do want to emphasize that this is called social selling, not hardcore selling or cold calling. We're not going in there and starting the messages and just say something like, hey, if you need a realtor, give me a call or something like that. They've just seen your profile. They know that you're a real estate agent already. And remember, this is not like a direct lead way. We're just starting a conversation and building it up from there. So again, your goal is just like with the content is to build relationships, befriend these people, treat them like your friends from the get-go, even if they're a total stranger. And so you have an actual conversation with them, seek to connect with them, show interest in them and what they're doing as well without asking for anything necessarily even real estate related. Then after we've already had a conversation with these people, they're already in our network, we've already chatted with them briefly, we can start slowly shifting that conversation towards real estate depending on their signals of interest. So for example, if somebody follows you and then you follow them back and you reply to them, hey name, I saw that you just connected here on this platform, just want to say thanks for the follow and just wanted to drop by to give you a quick hello. And then when people like or comment on your posts, you may send a message in direct messages saying, hey, can I pick your brain for a second for a project I'm working on? And when they say yes, you can say something that directs the conversation towards real estate. So you can say something like, so I'm selling this property in XYZ neighborhood, and I'm thinking whether to make a virtual 3D tour for the home or a walkthrough video. So let's suppose you were in the market, would you prefer to see a 3D tour or a walkthrough video? And then they reply back, and if they happen to be in the market, they would bring that up. And if they're not, which is going to be the most people, you could also ask them, hey, by the way, do you happen to know anyone who's in the market looking to make a move? Our team is doing free home analysis reports for homeowners this week because home prices have shifted recently. Another way to spark up these private messages is to look at their profile and then send a hello and reference something personal to them. Just look at their Instagram profile and then the most recent thing you see there and reference that. So say if they posted a picture from, let's say, a local restaurant, you want to send them, hey, I saw you were at the John's Barbecue, how is the food there? When they reply back, you can just say like, hey, it's great, it's worth a visit for steaks. Then you want to use the ACA formula, so acknowledge, compliment, and ask again to reply back. And then you can say something like, hey, sounds good, I've got to bring my kids there sometimes, I'll count on your taste, and by the way, do you know anyone who's been looking to make a move in the near future? The area has shifted recently, so I'm doing free consults to get folks clear on what the best options are. So that gives you some context on what to go for in these social selling conversations. Actually get to know people and then naturally shift the conversation towards real estate by asking them if they know someone else looking to make a move and then offer free, useful value towards these people. So those are the 3 steps to this framework. And at this stage, you might be feeling like, well, that's a lot. How am I going to do all of this? Now, in reality, this is actually pretty simple and pretty quick to do, but you gotta be organized with these things. It's not gonna happen if you're not organized. So what you have to do first is to block out 2 hours per week to create your content and get clear on when you post the actual content. Then after that, spend 20 minutes a day consistently every single day. So meaning, first of all, spend 1 minute posting your content. So you already have the content done. Now you just post it. Then 5 minutes per day, you want to spend behind the scenes on the Instagram stories. So let's say now I'm recording this video, I can make an Instagram story out of this, or let's say you go to an open house, make a quick story about that, right? Spend 5 minutes essentially just taking those pictures and then putting into stories. They can be very casual, they don't take a lot of time, or they don't have to be perfect either. And then from here, obviously you want to do the polls, valuable call to actions, etc. So that's basically 5 minutes per day. And then 10 minutes per day, you want to implement the hunting stage of these process. So building these conversations with your network, leaving comments on their posts, etc. And then obviously 7 minutes, sparking up those new private conversations, answering the comment replies you're getting, and then obviously engaging those followers and etc. that you're getting in from your content. So it takes less than a couple episodes of your favorite TV show. Let's say you're watching Netflix, just a couple episodes of that per week, and it has the potential to make you hundreds of thousands of dollars per year without spending anything on your marketing. This method is 100% free. So if right now you're using Zillow, you're paying for leads, or if you're making, let's say your average real estate agent makes $50,000 per year. So if you make $50K a year, this can triple your GCI. This can literally get you your income to be 3 times larger than it is right now. And again, if you want the notes on the Instagram story call to actions and Instagram reel posts, ideas, just comment cheat sheet down below, and we're gonna send that over for you 100% free without any obligations to do anything. Now, at this stage of the video, we've covered quite a lot of ground here, and you may be a little bit overwhelmed with all of this. So if you want to have a step-by-step instructions for all of this, not only how to use Instagram, but perhaps some other platforms as well, better suited for you specifically, and you want to know how to customize your marketing strategy to your exact market that takes into account your market, your skills, time available, strengths, weaknesses, how much resources you have available, etc., then I want to invite you over to a free Zoom strategy call with us in the link down in the description. So at least at the time of recording this video, we do have a couple of spots opening up for new private clients where we work with you one-on-one. So hop on a strategy call if you're interested in that, and we're gonna flesh out a step-by-step strategy that's 100% custom to you. And then if it makes sense, we'll work together with you to help you implement these strategies. And at the very least, you walk away with full clarity on, okay, what is the best marketing opportunities right now for you to generate listings. And so if that sounds good to you, and if you like that, just hit the link in the description, pick a time that works best for you, and then I look forward to talking with you one-on-one personally on that strategy call to see exactly how we can, if we can potentially help you out when it comes down to scaling your listing appointments and listings.